Alright, hello everyone. We're back here in the library playing More King's Quest 2. We're doing something a bit different today. I'm here with my girlfriend. You want to say hello?
Hello.
So, we're recording using a conference microphone, because it turns out that Windows is too dumb to have two USB headsets operating at the same time. So we have one of those, like when you have a conference room, there's that sort of thing on the table which picks up everybody's voice. So we're using that, so if you notice that the sound quality is a bit different, that's the reason why. She probably won't be here in the next video. Probably we'll just be doing one video for now, and perhaps she'll be here for sometime in the future, but not for now. I think we're just doing one video. Anyway, so where did we finish off last time? We had just been looking at Treasure Island, at the book that we got from...
the Tiara has been buried near one of the graves.
Right.
There's something written near the bottom. A date of fate can be found with a first, a second, and a double of nothing.
So until I get further information to the contrary, I'm going to assume that that means 1200. So, yeah, and we need to get the tiara from it. So, as it said at the beginning, the tiara is
According to this,
buried near one of the graves. So, I guess we need to go out to the graveyard. Can we talk to...
You have nothing else.
Okay, we have nothing else to say to Nastia right now.
I wish only one thing as payment for helping you find that book.
Of course.
Would you be so kind as to take this bracelet and place it on my mother's grave? I believe she wanted me to have it while I was alive. Now, it seems no longer appropriate to keep it. Thank you. I must retire now. It will not be long before sunrise. Good night, Graham.
Good night, Anastasia.
Do you think it's the same voice actress as Possum?
That's an interesting question. So I did mention before that obviously Possum, like the voice actor who voiced Possum was probably an adult, and they just ran it through some kind of digital filter to make the voice sound more childlike. So it could very well be the case that that's the same voice actress in her normal adult voice. Well, they still have some kind of echo effect for it, but it could very well be the case, actually. I think the end credits at the end of the game do have the voice actor credits, so we can check the names and see if it's the same actress.
The bracelet looks like it would fit a small wrist. It is a circlet of diamonds surrounded by beautiful sapphires.
Okay. Alright, so that's... so we need to put this on a grave. So let's go ahead and head out here. And, I think... hold on. Let me save here because... I think we're in some danger on this screen to the left here. So we got the bracelet from... Can't say from whom, I'll just say got bracelet from. Sure, why not? So... Okay, so we needed to put it on... Wait, where do we need to put it on what? On her mother's grave?
Yes.
Okay, so that...
As you step further into the cemetery, you can feel your life force slowly being sucked away by the disembodied spirits.
Okay, I think what we need to do is show these spirits the bracelet.
You suddenly find yourself unable to move.
Oh, too
The
late.
ethereal spirits drape.
Okay, I guess I needed
With
to...
the spirits and find.
Okay, let me try this again. Can I show them the bracelet ahead of time?
As you hold up the bracelet, the ghosts seem to relax slightly. You wonder if it is now safe to approach them and enter the cemetery.
Okay, are we gonna... Okay, so when we show them the bracelet, suddenly they don't want to kill us anymore. Okay, so I need to put the bracelet on, I guess on her parents. So her parents are both dead, so just to be clear, because I always get confused about this, probably everybody else gets this, but for some reason I always mix it up. So, Count Kaldar and, what's the woman's name? I always forget the name of...
Lavidia.
Lavidia, thank you. So, Count Kaldar and Lavidia are not Possum's parents, but actually her grandparents. Possum's parents, the children of Lavidia and Kaldar, are both dead, and that these are their two graves here in the center. This is probably their ghosts, actually. This is probably them. These ghosts are probably the parents of Possum, the children of Count and Lavidia. So,
Lord Herbert and Lady Lillian,
right.
1646
right,
to
yes.
1668.
So, Herbert and Lillian,
Loving
these are the
parents of
parents of
Anastasia.
Anastasia.
Beloved
Right, okay. So, Possum still lives. Well, now she's a vampire, but she lives on as a vampire, and her grandparents are still alive, but the generation in between, the parents are dead here. And so, Anastasia, who used to be Possum, wants us to put the bracelet on these graves.
You place the bracelet on the grave. It immediately sinks down into the earth. The ghosts do not respond at first. Then one of them drifts toward you.
Uh-oh.
It nods, almost sadly. The ghost seems to want to say something, but appears unable. Its face, though transparent and hazy, is lined with grief and torment. Its facial features waver into focus. The ghost is female.
We understand that our daughter will never be joining us now. No longer do we need wait for her. Now we journey to the realm of the dead, where its lord waits to judge us. Farewell.
Maybe it's the same realm of the dead as King's
You
Quest
bow
6.
your head and cross your heart out of respect. While looking downward, you notice that a beautiful gold ring now lies at your feet.
I guess that would make sense. It doesn't explicitly say that, but yeah, that's probably... Because the people in the land of the dead, they are the ones who had unresolved issues in their life, weren't they? All those people. When you first go into the land of the dead in King's Quest 6 and you see all those ghosts walking around, those are all the people who somehow... Their souls are not at rest because of some unresolved issues or business or whatever that they had when they were alive before they died. So, okay, so there's
A lovely golden ring has appeared at the foot of the headstone.
There's a ring here. We should probably pick that up.
You lift the gold ring from the ground and carefully place it in your pocket.
Okay. So we got the ring. And what are we supposed to... Hold on, let me quickly save here. Got the golden ring. That's nice. Now, that was the errand from Possum, or Anastasia now, so she wanted us to put the bracelet on the gravestones, and we got the ring as a result of that. Let's take a look at the ring.
It is a gold wedding band.
Oh, it's a wedding ring. Oh, is Graham going to use this on his bride-to-be? I guess so. Okay, but that was a side thing for now. What we need to focus on is the treasure hunt, I guess, right?
The tiara has been buried near one of the graves.
Right, so we need to get it. We need to get it from... we need to get the tiara so that we can get out of here, so we can get off this island. So, we're looking, as far as I know, for a gravestone with 1200 on it.
M. Riggs and R. Murtaugh, date of death, 98. They got too old for that. The last word is faded.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that as a or actually I think a couple of people mentioned that as a reference to the Lethal Weapon movies, which I haven't actually seen. I'm not really a huge fan. I saw part of one of them and then thought, yeah, I got too old for that.
Boris and Olga.
Okay, and as I mentioned, that's Boris and Olga from Quest for Glory 4. And you actually asked, before we started making this video, you asked, how did they end up here?
Yes.
Because Boris and Olga, they were in, what's the name of the place in Quest for Glory 4? Mordavia. So how did they get from Mordavia to Kolyma? That doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I think it's just meant to be a reference. I think you're not supposed to think about it too carefully.
Alfred Chamberlain.
Okay, Alfred Chamberlain.
Count Christopher Ivir,
Aha.
1175 to 1200. The young Avir, his
Okay, I don't care too much about the epitaph on his
his
cemetery, but the death date is 1200. I'm going to assume that means this is what we're looking for. So, if we go ahead and... Hold on, I'm curious, what happens if you dig at the wrong place? Let's dig at one of the wrong graves.
Oh.
Yeah.
You become acquainted with your new roommate. You will both be spending a lot of time together.
Alright.
It's kind of funny how he fell in that grave.
Yeah, the deaths are always a little bit, a little surprising. Okay, but anyway, so we want to dig at, so it was this grave back here. So let's go ahead and dig here.
You stop digging when your shovel hits something hard.
Ooh, you hit something hard, did you? Wow, that's...
There is an open hole beneath one of the headstones.
Well, let's put this something hard in the hole.
Nervously, you reach down, open the coffin, and look inside.
Okay, nothing too exotic. We have bones, and I mean, I guess it's not surprising to see a skeleton. And what's this?
There is a tin box here. It contains personal items that belong to the coffin's occupant in life.
Alright, let's take a look inside, shall we?
You search through the belongings of the deceased. According to the headstone, they belong to a Count Christopher Evere. After some tentative searching, you find a parchment. It appears to be the last will and testament of Larman Odnarb, healer. This isn't right. You run your eyes over the parchment. It's dated 1200, the same as the date on the headstone. However, the instructions pertaining to his burial were for Larman to be placed near his family at the church's cemetery. Oh dear.
So, I must confess that I'm not 100% clear on the implications of that, so maybe you can tell me what you think. So, this guy buried here is...
Count Christopher
Evere. He had a will which mentions Larman Odnarb, who I guess is buried in the church cemetery. So what are we supposed to do now? Are we supposed to go back to the church? How do we get back to the church, though? Because we're stuck here on this island until we get the tiara.
Did you open the box? Was the tiara in there?
No, inside the box we found the will, the last will and testament of this guy. So this guy's last will and testament was... Hold on, is that... Let me read that again, because I always get confused by this part. Somehow
Among the items in this grave is a parchment containing the last will and testament of...
Oh, no, I'm sorry, duh. No, it's the last will and testament of... Not of this person who's buried here. It's the last will and testament of someone buried in the church cemetery. So... But I don't understand, why is his last will and testament buried here? That doesn't make sense. And what is that? Okay, anyway, so we dug here, we got the,
Among the...
We got the, I don't get it. I think we're supposed to go to the church cemetery, but we can't go there until we get the tiara, right? Because we're stuck here. Well, so the boatman's still here.
The shrouded ghoul. The boatman has...
Can we go?
Climb back into the decrepit rowboat, and the shrouded ghoul ferries you back across the lake.
Okay, we can go back. He'll still take us... Right, okay. And we can go back later, I think. He'll let us go. Okay, never mind. So, actually, we can... so we can still go back to the... yeah. And now, if you just go south from there, suddenly it takes you all the way back to here, back to the mainland of Colima. Okay, cool. So we can still go to the church and check out what's happening there. So let's do that now. I think most screens, let's see the red eyes popping up there. I think most screens in Colima at night have a section where those red eyes will appear, because this screen has one and the previous screen had one. I think most screens have one. Does this one? Maybe this one doesn't. Most of them do. Yeah, see, this one has them up there. See?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway, so the church was right over here, if I'm not mistaken. Is the church, and see the red eyes are there, is the church occupied?
Your heart beats faster and faster as you push on the handle of the church door. It opens, and you nervously step inside.
Okay, there's nobody here. That's probably a good thing. What's with these candles on the...
Evidently, someone stands at the center of the symbol, as you can see some hair on that part of the floor.
So if somebody stands there, then you can see hair there? Does somebody have hairy feet?
There are 8 candles placed evenly around the symbol on the floor. You do not know of their purpose, but you suspect they weren't used for carols practice. You already have a candle.
That's true.
You'd rather not touch the symbol, as you don't like to think how it may have been used.
So I guess in traditional sort of... in stereotypical sort of Satanist/pagan rituals, there's usually a pentagram on the floor. But here, I guess, in this particular pagan religion, they use an octagon. Actually, it's not an octagon. Is that an octagram? Is that a thing? I don't know. Anyway,
You see a book sitting on the altar. It appears old and worn. You look over the book. It is a journal written by Lowolf, head monk of the Church of Kalima. Flipping through it, you see a paragraph with a name you recognize.
It is frustrating as always dealing with Count Kaldar and his ilk. He is just like his father, perhaps even worse. He insists that Kalima be pushed forward to enlighten the peasantry. Can he not see that this path leads to ruin? How can the people retain their moral goodness if their minds are filled with knowledge of the wider world and all of its sin?
You turn a few more pages and choose another interesting-looking paragraph.
I am quite convinced that Kaldar is so blinded by his so-called vision for Kalima that he cannot see the folly of his intentions, and yet he is the Lord of Kalima. To publicly refute him would create confusion and anger in the people. I am a man of patience. The greatest gift his grace has granted me. Perhaps time will settle this young lord's idealism and grant him sense in the process.
The journal largely contains many entries of similar types and of daily matters of a monk's life. You are about to replace the journal where you found it, but your eye catches a most peculiar passage.
A wonderment was discovered in the forest this night. The spirits of the wild, long thought to be only of legend, appeared to us and saw fit to grant my brethren and I the most blessed of gifts. Such power we now have! Our forms can be abandoned in favor of any other, and I am to be their leader, their most powerful. They are bound to me inextricably. The spirits have made promises of greater things to come for us. Oh, it fills me with such longing. The endless possibilities. What we will achieve with our abilities. I am restless. I must leave for a time. The moon is full and I feel the urge to join my pack as they run. Perhaps we will hunt. Perhaps we will kill. My mind is now clear and I know the path before us. It is a path...
The passage ends abruptly.
Come
Though
on,
there
man.
are many pages left to be written on, it is evident that the final passage was written a number of years ago. How strange. You replace the journal, putting it back where you found it.
That is one of my pet peeves in adventure games. Text boxes that have a timer and that will automatically advance after some amount of time. No, don't do that. Let me finish reading. I'm capable of clicking a mouse button or pushing a key on the keyboard when I'm done reading myself. You don't need to advance the text.
You turn the journal.
So where was I? It is a path that shall lead us to greatness, and it will begin with the destruction of our nemesis. But now I no longer have the patience to write. I must run. I must hunt. I must... ... I wonder what the ... means. Masturbate? take a poop in the woods? I don't know. What could he have meant? What did he have to do? Okay. That thing with automatically advancing text boxes, Al Lowe seems to be particularly a fan of that, because I remember the Leisure Larry games all had that. I think I think one of the first games to have it was Leaders with Larry 5, and then it was also in Freddy Farkas. There was even a text slider to control how fast the text advances, so I think that was one of Al Lowe's favorite. I'm sorry, Al Lowe's a great guy. I don't have anything against Al Lowe, but that one thing is quite annoying in my opinion, so that's one thing where I disagree with him. Anyway, okay, so we're here in the church cemetery. So we need to find the grave of... what was the guy's name? I forget the guy. Do you remember the guy's name?
No.
Okay, it's fine. We'll look at the gravestones. We'll probably recognize it when we see it.
Mm-hmm.
Church cemetery. I always want to spell cemetery like that with an A, but I think there's no A in cemetery.
Yes, there is.
Really?
Yes, that's how you spell it.
I don't think so. I think it is actually cemetery. Oh. You might be thinking... I always get... Maybe the reason I get mixed up is because of that Stephen King book, Pet Sematary, but there it's spelled something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know the book I'm talking about. I don't think there's any A in cemetery.
I think I've been misspelling it all my life then.
Yeah, I have too. I spelled it with an A for a long time until somebody finally pointed out to me, hey, there's no A in cemetery. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look around.
Williamson.
Okay, it wasn't Lester Williamson. Wasn't it Oddnarb or something?
Started with an L.
Yes, yeah, Lester Oddnarb, I think.
Rebecca Twintle. Goulash Thompson.
Goulash Thompson.
Roust Odide. 943 to... Larman Oddnarb.
Here we go.
1175
Larman
to
Oddnarb.
1200.
Oh, so Larman Oddnarb also
Dear
died in
Larman
1200
was a
on the
healer.
same in the same year as the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So, do we need to dig at this grave? Let's see. Let's go ahead and dig here. I don't really understand the connection between Larman Oddnarb and the other guy,
Stop
though.
digging when your shovel hits something hard.
I don't quite understand the connection between the two. Did they die together? Are their deaths connected? And why does one have the will and testament of the other? I don't really get it. And the grave this coffin looks pretty much identical, except that it's horizontally reversed or mirrored, but otherwise it seems to
These
be.
bones have been here for so long that most of them have crumbled to dust. You have no desire to carry around human bones. With bated breath, you open the box. There it is, the Tiara.
Okay.
In this tin box rests a brilliant tiara rimmed with blue sapphires.
The narrator says Tiara. Isn't it Tiara? Tiara was, I think Tiara was the old name of AGD. Didn't they used to call themselves Tiara as a joke on Sierra?
Tomatoes,
Yeah, but I think it's Tiara, not Tiara. Okay, anyway.
It can be pronounced both ways.
Okay.
As you retrieve the tiara from its final resting place, you let out a loud, relieved sigh. You feel as if the coming sunrise will be the most glorious sight you will ever behold, considering how close you were to never seeing another again. Now don't delay, you still have to get it back to the castle.
Is there an actual timer on this quest?
You
That's a good
freeze
question.
as a wolf's howl sends shivers down your spine. You force yourself to turn and face... nothing. Your anxiety must be causing you to hear things.
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. Can you actually run out of time? A lot of Sierra games had timers like that built in where... I think King's Quest IV, I know, runs on an actual real clock, and you can even check the time in the haunted house. If you go and look at the grandfather clock downstairs, you can even see the time there. I think Leaders of Larry 1 does as well, because if Larry runs out of time, then he actually commits suicide, which is quite dark for an otherwise rather lighthearted game. Anyway. I'm curious, if we dig at one of the wrong graves here, do we also get pulled under by some green tentacle? I'm going to assume yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yep, same thing.
You become acquainted with your new roommate.
I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going. Which is what you say when you see a tentacle. So, let's go ahead and... I think we're done here. So, we should go to... It's almost time to stop the video, but I'll go a little bit longer. Whoops. Oh, sorry, I clicked through that box, through that text box before. I kind of spoiled it now, because I accidentally clicked away the text box.
Without warning, a wolf darts out of the dark forest and dashes towards you, and this time it's running directly at you.
Yep. So, this time it's pretty straightforward. This time we do need to defend ourselves, and we just use it. We do it using the most obvious weapon, the weapon that most lends itself to violence.
Oh.
Graham just clubs the wolf to death.
Finally, we see him do some violence.
Yeah, now we get some actual action, and you have to do this several times because there are several wolves and you have to kill them all. I do feel this is a bit out of tone for the King's Quest games. I mean, I guess this is a logical thing to do. This is probably what... I mean...
It's too late for that. And
what?
It's too late for that. And it's...
What?
That must be the monk.
You were once the finest knight in all of Daventry. Just what have you been doing this past year?
I think I was just too late. No, I don't think that's the monk. I think the monk still... I think we see the monk again later. No, I think that was just me clicking too late. You have to click more quickly on the wolves as they show up.
Brandishing your sword might make you appear...
Okay, I clicked on the wrong place there. It's a little bit silly because you click on the wolf just as the wolf shows up, and then Graham suddenly pulls out his sword and brandishes it, and he has several seconds to react. So it's not like, I mean, you shouldn't have to be that fast. But if you don't click on the wolf right when it shows up, then the game says, "Oh, it's too late."
No, there we go.
You breathe a sigh of relief and clean your sword against the body of the nearest wolf. Hopefully, this will be the last time you'll ever have to defend yourself in such a manner. It has always filled you with loathing to even consider killing another creature. This time has been no exception.
Why is he a knight then?
Yeah, I mean, of course it makes sense that, I mean, yeah, if you're in that situation, I would probably do the same thing, because what else are you going to do? If you can't run away, then you have to defend yourself somehow, but it does seem sort of out of character with the King's Quest games to have Graham killing these wolves, because usually the King's Quest games give you some kind of alternative to killing. Like, remember in the first game, you can kill the dragon, but a better thing to do is to use the water on the dragon. You can kill the giant, but there's a better way to deal... usually the games give you an alternative to killing, so the fact that you have to kill the 3 wolves here, it does seem a bit inappropriate. I mean, it makes sense given the circumstances, but it's not really in keeping with the tone of the King's Quest series, in my opinion.
The wolf lies in a heap on the ground, blood oozing from its fatal wounds. Its eyes are open, and with a start, you realize that these are not the eyes of wolves. They are human.
Yeah.
The body is still warm.
Yeah, this is all just a bit gruesome. I don't really like this turn that the game took here. Anyway, I guess we'll go back to the boatman and go back to the castle and give the tiara to Kaldar. But this video has already gone on for half an hour, so we'll probably stop here. And do you want to make another video together? I should probably.
Okay.
I'd like to... Okay, so we'll make one more video together where we go back and give the tiara back to Kaldar, and then we'll probably wrap it up, and I'll do the rest of the game solo. So.
Maybe.
maybe. We'll see what happens. So, anyway. Alright, so, this has been us playing King's Quest 2 as always. Thanks for watching, everyone, and hope that you enjoyed, despite the kind of dark and a little bit disturbing. Like, I don't know, I don't like the idea of killing these 3 wolves, and especially since they're basically, I guess they're werewolves. They're basically humans in wolf form. Somehow I just don't really like the idea of having to kill these 3. It seems a little bit. It's somehow just the tone is off. Something feels wrong about it. But anyway, despite that, I hope that you enjoyed, folks. Thanks for watching, and ta-ta for now, everyone. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.